Well, ahead of the closing ceremony, we can join our senior reporter Geraint Hughes in Paris now. Geraint.
It's all over. No more medals, no more sport at the Olympics. So good time to have a chat with Dame Katherine Grainger, Chair of UK Sport. Let's not forget UK Sport is the body that distributes the money to elite level sport, the elite athletes we've seen for the last 2 or 3 weeks here in Paris. Katherine, first of all, just your memories, your reflections on what's just happened over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
I mean, you're still sort of coming to terms with everything. It's been 15 days of incredible sport. I think we've all been looking forward to Paris. It's the first games. Obviously, Tokyo was the pandemic games. It's the first time in a long time we've had crowds back. We've had family and friends on site. We've had extraordinary performances across this wide range of sports. The British athletes have done amazing things in front of absolutely stunning French backdrops, which we hoped and predicted about 3 weeks ago, and they've all delivered.
That's where it's delivered. Team GB have delivered as well. We will delve into the minutiae. But 65 medals. Let's start on that one. Surprised?
Really unpredictable bits that are out of your hands. So that's why it's quite a wide medal range. It's all the different sports feeding in. And we think if everything plays well, then we're hoping it's somewhere in that range, and obviously the higher the better. To get to 65, it's very near the top end. It's a brilliant performance. It's taken a lot of incredible people. It's not just the athletes, but the coaches, the performance directors, the amazing sort of support team around them for the mental and physical health and support. That's what it takes to perform on that stage, and there are a lot of kind of expectation, pressure, but they've delivered beautifully. So I'm thrilled for them. I'm thrilled for every single athlete who added to those numbers. But I'm not surprised. I'm very happy, because that means the system's working. Let's
break down 65 medalists. So that means 65 athletes got onto the podium. But there are 8 fewer golds. And, as I just noticed, Team GB slipped down to 7th in the medal table. Now, part of the range was to be 5th in the medal table. What can we take from fewer golds than Tokyo and being 7th in the medal table, but with greatly significant overall total of medals from several teams above Team GB? What can we read into this?
So the main thing, so UK Sport sets out the medal range. The biggest focus is the number of medals for us. So between 50 and 70 is exactly where we've landed. 65 is fantastic. It's the same number as London, the home games. So to be able to do that in away games is quite extraordinary. And it's across 18 different sports. So again, it's one of the few countries that can really do it across that breadth. So the breadth of sport is really important for us, investing public money. We want to reach as many athletes across different sports. So then you flip to, 7th in the medal table. Now, it's never, we have a strategic ambition to finish in the top 5, but it's not a target as such. It's more of normally what happens is if you can win over 60 medals, then you're going to be in the top 5. It's very, very unusual to be outside of the top 5 with that many medals. So what we normally see, and not to get overcomplicated, is about 1/3 of the medals we usually convert to gold as a team. And this year it's below that. If we had converted 1/3, we'd be up up in that top 5 range again. We always knew between 3rd and 8th on the medal table it gets very, very congested. And all it takes is some not to convert to gold, and you're in a different place on the table. So what the work we'll be doing now is across all of our different bodies, all the individual sports, the UK Sport, the British Olympic Association. Everyone will look at their part in the puzzle and see were there any bits that we could do differently, could we do better, where were the benefits, what really worked for some of the teams, some of the sports, what maybe we didn't do enough of or could change or do differently for next time. So the review process kicks in, but what's exciting is what you see is this amazing potential. We've got huge amounts of medals and medalists. We had an enormous number of 4th places as well, and it just takes some conversion to move them further up. But genuinely, the main message is this huge number of athletes. And the ones that didn't make it onto the podium are still incredible stories and role models as well. So we just have this brilliant team full of remarkable individuals who are absolutely making the country proud.
Just a quick word. We have been in a bubble here in Paris where Team GB have been delivering medal, but the country back home has been strange. The power of sport, are you aware of, well, I know of course you're aware, but how can that be maybe used to, I don't know, mend a little bit of what's going on back home? Because it's very easy just to get into a bubble when you're here in Paris, just celebrating Team GB's success, yet people are hurting back in the UK. It's a very strange situation. How aware were you of that contrast?
I think you're right about talking. You do become part of an Olympic bubble, and all the conversations, all the topics, all the news seem to be full with results from sport. But no one's, you don't switch off from home completely. We all have contacts and friends and family and loved ones, and the news coming from back home, and it's a much harder place to be right now. And we know that the Olympic light and laughter and celebration and inspiration won't be able to have that reach to everyone. I think from my experience in my life in sport, as all of us who work in sport, we believe it does have a power, it does have an impact. It can't solve everything, of course it can't, but it plays a part. And what we've seen is, and I've talked many times before, we have an amazing group of athletes who are brilliant on the field of play, brilliant within their own sport, but many of them also have voices and platforms outside of that. And we've got a Changemaker programme happening next week where a lot of the athletes are going home to their home regions and hometowns and home villages and doing something positive locally to say, this is where I'm from, this is where I either grew up or where I learnt my trade and my craft, and I want to bring something back and bring their stories of what they've been through at the Olympics and what they've learned and what they've overcome and what they've achieved, but also that inspirational effect of here's someone who has gone out there and done something huge worth celebrating, and that can have an impact in people's lives and bring a bit of positivity.
Katherine, you've already explained in a previous answer that yes, 65 medals, but you want to break it down. You will get back to work after a little bit of a rest, hopefully, and see where there can be improvements. Things may be done differently. So, 60 plus medals, London, Rio, Tokyo, Paris, Los Angeles 2028. What's going to be the expectation there, Katherine?
4 years out is probably a little early to give you a plan at the moment.
Oh, come on, I'm giving you plenty of time.
You're just so demanding. I've not even recovered from Paris yet. So I think we are one of only 3 countries, the other 2 being USA and China, who over the last 4 Summer Olympics have delivered over 60 medals. Now, to be there's this sort of legacy being built of sort of sustained success, and that's thanks to huge amounts of support from the National Lottery, from the British public, who really believe in these teams and want to support them. We need that to continue. We need that investment to continue. We have more and more athletes that will come through and do brilliant things. I think there's always that risk of, once we'd had the home games, London 2012 we all adored, would that be, the end? And then Rio, was almost bigger and better in different ways. And Tokyo was challenging because of the pandemic. We've come to Paris and it feels like sport's back with a huge bang. So I think the wonderful feeling you get is this momentum, this energy, the near misses here, the desire to come back and do better in LA. We had an extraordinary number of first-time games people here as well. So we've got athletes who have got the taste for it, the hunger for it, want to come back and do more. So the thing that I love, that I think we all love about high-performance sport, is this constant need to review and improve and come back and go again, and what more can we do? So I'm not giving you any numbers yet for LA, but I think it will be another extraordinary games with a lot of inspirational and memorable moments that will light up the public again.
Dame Katherine, thank you ever so much for joining us on Sky Sports News. Dame Katherine Grainger, Chair of UK Sport. She's explained basically that your job doesn't stop today, that you've got a busy few weeks coming as well when you go through. But thanks again for joining us. Much appreciated, and congratulations as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.